Hi, everyone. Today I'm going to talk about Jack Dorsey and Bitcoin. What is he doing now with his new ventures? Well, it's actually the culmination of a bunch of his companies coming together. And he left Twitter. So, what does this all mean? Before I dig in, I want to give a shout out to Ledin. Ledin is one of my sponsors. It's the best place where you could borrow using your Bitcoin as collateral or lending it out. I personally use the product, definitely recommend it. Okay, cool. Let's go ahead and dive into the main topic. So, Jack Dorsey and Bitcoin. Jack Dorsey has recently become like one of the biggest Bitcoiners in the world in terms of both, his tech background, his pedigree, and his knowledge and his enthusiasm for Bitcoin. I think he's incredible. I think what the products he's built are amazing, and also love his passion for Bitcoin. In fact, I know the guy who orange pilled Jack Dorsey, or who got him into Bitcoin, and really excited to see Jack's just that pedigree and that experience being brought to Bitcoin to go help build it and help make Bitcoin succeed. So, Jack, I'm not sure if people saw this, but at Bitcoin 2021 was kind of like he made some extremely strong statements around Bitcoin, saying if Bitcoin needed more help than Square and Twitter, I would be working on Bitcoin. That was back in June. And he's also made a bunch of other statements as well, indicating how strongly he feels about Bitcoin. For example, he says that Bitcoin reminds him of the early internet. And he also believes that Bitcoin can solve political and economic problems. For example, him saying here, Bitcoin will unite a deeply divided country and eventually world. And I agree with him on most of these points. I think that Bitcoin is a huge revolution in both money, which impacts the economy, but also it changes power structures, structures of government, where governments have control over the population. And so it wasn't, I think, too big of a surprise when he announced his departure from Twitter last week. And in his goodbye letter, he writes, it's a little less clear on why he's leaving here. More of kind of saying like the company needs to move on from him. I think truly, though, what he's actually going for here, and we'll never know the intricate political battles that went on internally at Twitter. There are some rumors that an activist investor fund was really, really pushing to have him ousted. It also could be his passion for Bitcoin, but in his letter doesn't really make it super clear, but all that matters is that he left Twitter and now is working full-time on products that touch Bitcoin. And so the day after he left, there is a new umbrella brand, kind of like Alphabet and Meta. So Meta is for Facebook and Alphabet's for Google, to encompass a variety of products under his management. It's Square. Before we begin, I want to give a shout out to Choice, one of my sponsors. As most of you know, when you hodl, you don't have to pay taxes. But what if I told you that you could hodl, and when you eventually sell your Bitcoin, you wouldn't have to pay any taxes then? Well, I didn't think that was possible until I found Choice IRA. Choice is the best retirement account to set up for Bitcoiners that lets you buy and hold Bitcoin in stocks without paying a dime to the government. And how does that work? Choice is an IRA. They have IRAs and Roth IRAs, which means it's a special type of retirement account where you don't pay taxes if you hodl until a certain age, along with some other stipulations. And the best part, you can self-custody your Bitcoin with Choice, which means that you don't have to trust Choice or anyone else with your Bitcoin or your private keys. It's the perfect retirement solution for Bitcoiners. The best time to start stacking sats was 11 years ago. The second best time is today. Search Stack Sats in the App Store or choiceapp.io/held. Link is included in the description below. Go check it out right now. Cash App Spiral. Spiral is formerly crypto or Square Crypto. Tidal and TBD. And so TBD, by the way, is a decentralized Bitcoin exchange. Tidal is streaming music. Spiral, not to be confused with Tidal, is supporting the Bitcoin ecosystem. And Cash App is P2P payments / consumer, and Square is merchant processing, payment processing. And this is their new website. It was super slick, really, really cool. Loved it. I think it's pretty sweet. Definitely like indicates super high like cultural vibes, very fresh, extremely modern. And Brad Mitchelson, a good buddy of mine and marketer at eToro, had a great thought on what Jack is trying to do, and he thinks that Jack is trying to make Bitcoin as culture. So he calls it finance as culture, but for Jack, I think Jack cares so much about Bitcoin that he wants to make Bitcoin part of culture. And so I thought this was a really good take. that Jack built one of the biggest Web 2.0 platforms, the fact that he could maybe build one of the biggest Web 3.0 platforms. And digging into this a little bit further, I think that Brad's totally right. Jack is perfectly positioned to weave Bitcoin into popular culture because he understands social. He's got Twitter. I mean, Twitter is one of the biggest social media platforms in the world. In fact, kind of pioneered some of their early work. And he's also really good at like thinking about influencer marketing with the Cash App product, and some of his personal philanthropic efforts. So Jack is a huge supporter of a ton of different celebrity charities. He's very much woven into the social fabric of the US, of the world, with the product he's built, to how he markets those products, to his personal investments. And he understands money. I mean, Square is an incredibly popular merchant processing tool, and Cash App I think it just surpassed Venmo as the most popular kind of mobile wallet app to use. I mean, that's massive. And then with Bitcoin and weaving in Bitcoin into that, he understands very intimately what it takes to build, very popular consumer financial products. And then finally, he understands culture. So he is a celebrity. He's Jack Dorsey. I mean, he was the CEO of 2 publicly traded companies. The only other person who did that was Elon Musk. And both in Silicon Valley and the mainstream. I mean, he's very plugged into like the LA scene. He's very plugged into the New York scene. He rubs shoulders with some of those influential people of the world. And with Bitcoin, he's going to take this expertise, he's going to take this understanding and help Bitcoin go mainstream. He's going to help Bitcoin be woven into the social fabric of the world, of money, and make it truly become ubiquitous as a modern money. I really think he's incredible. I love the work that he's done. Super excited that he's spending more time on Bitcoin. He is going to be one of the major influences on Bitcoin for the next decade. So definitely watch him closely. I'm excited to see it all happen. Hope you enjoyed. And if you like this, throw me a like or subscribe. Helps with the algorithm, helps get this to more people. Appreciate it. Cheers. Bye.